But anyways, I just saw Elena's trailer right now, and it's just so perfect. It's so perfect. It's so like the music. She looks. The I wish I could walk on that backstage for hours, and she just looks spectacular in her classic costume. It's just like watching El- Elena from Street Fighter 3, just pretty much the same. The hair flow, everything. Her voice kind of threw me off a little bit, just because I was so used to the Street Fighter 3 voice, which is just perfect again. But that got me thinking on something that I was so happy to see her whoop Akuma's ass all over the stage. Her friendship with Akuma is actually being followed and not thrown to the side like a disposable Kleenex, like a lot of things in Street Fighter, which is something that can be kind of frustrating a lot of times because it's such a cool, great concept that I'm not even sure if Capcom really did it so calculating as I think they did, or if it was just like a happy coincidence. They just realized later on that could have happened. But that was one of my favorite storylines ever. That just one little sentence of it showing that Elena is the only friend Akuma has. And I was like, yeah, because when you think about it, it's so perfect. I've been saying perfect a lot. Because when you think about it, Elena and Akuma, I'm not gonna say perfect again so many times. So Elena and Akuma work together so well because they complement each other so well as two narratives, as two characters. That is one of those things that when you see it, it's like you just want to see more. Like Elena is the personification of like goodness, right? She has beauty and grace, and she's all about tenderness and purity. And can you hear the ASMR, the airplane? Uh-huh. I'm not sure if it's gonna pick it up, the microphone. By microphone I mean my cell phone. So Elena is light, right? It's goodness. It's She's tall and gracious and tall and extroverted and fun and kind and very tall. She's like the epitome of everything good about a human being, pretty much. And Akuma is totally the opposite, right? Akuma is rough and ugly, and he's monstrous and aggressive and violent, and he's the opposite. He's the Here comes another plane. It's very distracting. What was I talking about? Okay, so it's she his brute strength. He's very introverted. When you really think about it, he's very introverted and edgy, and you know, it's all about the killing intent and fighting to the death, super serious, and like all that stuff, right? They complement it. It's like, yeah, it's perfect. I said I wasn't gonna say that again, but they complement each other. They're the yin and yang, the killing intent versus the healing intent. uh, they are two narrative tools that you can utilize to exploit a lot and to do all sorts of like really interesting stuff. And I've always been really frustrated to not see that. And that made me think of, oh my god, the dogs. They're really distracting me. I hope they're not as auto. Oh wow! You hear that? No, no, no. You know what? I want it to be more audible. I want everybody to experience the ASMR and imagine that they are actually here with me right now talking. Enjoy the ASMR. Matter of fact, I'm gonna be talking like this for the rest of the video. Yeah, to make it extra ASMR. I actually talk like this sometimes depending on the mood. I talk like this. Believe it or not. Yeah, I'm not joking. I actually do talk like this sometimes. But it's just different factors where I need to. I don't really think about it before I know it. I'm just talking like this. As I said, depending on the mood. Wait, the dogs are not barking anymore. There's no alarms, no car alarms, no airplanes, no ASMR. I guess I'm gonna have to talk normally again. Um, that got me. That got me thinking into more storylines, characters that I wish I could see match up a little bit. Really would work. I'm sure it would work. I'm not sure, but here's a list of characters that that I that I believe work as matchups. I don't something like that. I don't know how I'm gonna title this video. One of my dream Street Fighter storylines was actually Elena and Akuma, but that's one that already exists, and I'm pretty sure Street Fighter 6 is gonna develop more. Is gonna go deeper into that, so I'm not gonna count it. I'm gonna go for more deeper shit, deeper weird shit that probably nobody has thought about. I've never seen anybody mention those. And but I wish I have thought about those ships at least the once over time. I realized I made my intro a little bit longer than I was expecting, so I'm gonna rush through this thing and try not to make this excruciatingly long. Ryu and Saddam storyline. Where is our Ryu
What?
and Saddam beef?
Bro, what are you talking
The
about, man?
storyline. Why hasn't Capcom booked Saddam and Ryu more? I know it's not technically Street Fighter. It's more of a. It is. It is not. But it is. Saddam is a Final Fight character, but they share the same universe and everything. Everybody knows all that lore, so it counts. I mean, Ryu, it's the personification of like Japan, pretty much like the traditional idea and image of Japan, according to like Street Fighter, right? According to Capcom, pretty much. What he symbolizes. That's pretty much the character. Ryu is like Japan, the character, Japan in one man, and you have Saddam, who is a huge weeaboo, right? Who is like the biggest otaku, the cringiest, most like uh, obsessive otaku, like the most weeby guy ever. So just imagine a storyline in some game where they could have done that in Street Fighter Alpha, but let's not get into what they could have. More of like, because you can't do anything about that. More of like what they could do later on, because and there's we pretty much still have more Street Fighter games to come, most likely, unlike Mortal Kombat. Imagine that Saddam being all like fucking like edgy or like learning about you and trying to to find acknowledgement of him, because Ryu is what I said already, and seeing that in Sodom, wanting to just like uh, be acknowledged by him, obsessing over him, and trying to like challenge him to like show off and impress Ryu, right? And but Ryu's like, get the fuck off me, bro, fucking weeb. And yeah, it would be so fun. You could do so much, such like a fun like storyline with those two. Not super serious or anything. A little slightly goofy, very more light-hearted, but it would be so much fun. Make it happen, Capcom. Book it. Uh, Record those promos. Babyface Ryu versus heel Sodom storyline writes itself. Ryu doesn't even know who Sodom is, right? He doesn't even care. It's like, and Sodom is all like, "I challenge you, worthy warrior. The Bushido Code has brought me to you." And Ryu's like, "Huh?" Yeah, I don't know, something. Okay. Fei Long and DJ. I know this one doesn't really count because it's already acknowledged now in Street Fighter 6 in in the world tour, right? On DJ's world tour section, he tells you that he knows Fei Long, and then that he's gonna record a movie, and that they like know each other, and they have shared, it's like their, I don't know, career. But that's something that could have been done since the beginning, and that's something that I would have loved to have seen since like the very beginning. It's right there, even though in Street Fighter 2 DJ is just starting. He's not a superstar yet, as he is now. So yeah, I can see how they didn't do it, but still, I feel like they could have done that sooner, because they don't really have a Johnny Cage. They didn't really have a Johnny Cage until now. DJ and Fei Long, it's also kind of their Johnny Cage. But Fei Long's the movie star, kung fu master, and DJ is like the kickboxer, super movie star, music star, and they show that they actually like Fei Long called him to invite him to be in one of his movies and stuff like that. I just think so. It doesn't really count. So this, but it's just like something that I wish I could see explored a little bit more, and I fantasized it before. It just kind of came true. I just wish they push it more. I just wish there is a game where you have Fei Long and DJ again in the same game. Two of my favorite characters from Street Fighter, and just like push that even further. Cammy and Rose. Yeah, Cammy and Rose. Think about it. It's never been fully done so much. Even though they had a chance in Street Fighter 5, but I said I wasn't going to dwell on the past. So, Rose is the master of Soul Power. Soul Power is the counterpart of Psycho Power. Rose is like the... Is that still a thing? Is that still canon? Like Rose being like... No, it's not anymore, right? I'm not even sure. Rose is like the Piccolo of King Piccolo's. She's the good side of Bison. She just like Bison just kind of like exercised his goodness, and he just shot out like Rose out of him. Is she his daughter, or is she his clone, his doppelganger? Is she his daughter? I don't even know. I don't even know if she's anything anymore, right? She's not even related to him anymore. She's just like a fellow disciple of Soul Power or something like that. I don't even remember. They explain it in Street Fighter 6, I think. I don't remember. And then you have the dolls, and especially Cammy, right? You know, the poster child of the dolls. Even though I wish I could see more of the dolls, they're such a cool concept, an interesting concept that you could do so much. But I can see how it could be overwhelming to try to develop them more. So that's why you never see them. You could still use Cammy, and again, is she just extracted from like Bison's DNA or something? Did they just took like a semen sample of Bison and they just recreated like uh, the, the perfect like they just made Cammy, but you know you could use Rose to extract, like, let's just say that Bison tries to control them again and actually uses this psycho power on them and controls them again, and you can use Rose to counterpart that, and they Cammy could try to seek out Rose a lot, you know, that kind of stuff. I just like Rose a lot. I like Cammy a lot more even, but I just like Rose a lot, and she's such an interesting character, and I never see her exploited as much as she could be, because she's such like an underutilized character. She has so much potential that has never been utilized. That is just like, you know, it would be cool. Maybe Cammy could go and seek out Rose because she's started to get influenced by psycho power again, and she wants somebody that can help her like cleanse herself from that. I don't know, shit, like something like that, something simple. Can you believe I was about to have the Super Duck silicone Cammy doll? Was it the silicone Super Duck or the Starman? It was this one right here. You see that? Look at that. It's so gorgeous. I'm not gonna say perfect, even though I already said it. But look at that. I could have had it. I bought it on pre-sale last year. I waited almost an entire year for it to ship. The day it was meant to be shipped, the seller canceled the purchase, and he sent me the money back. I mean, more like the money is sent to you automatically, but yeah. And the doll is almost twice as expensive now, so I can't afford. I mean, I can, but I can't afford to buy something like that now. Right now, I was so close. I wanted that so bad, and I thought I was gonna get it. I waited almost a year, and now, when am I gonna be able to buy that? I'm not gonna buy it right now. That was my chance, and that was it. I don't have that kind of income anymore. It was cheaper on pre-sale last year, and now it's just going through the roof, and it's just gonna be getting more expensive. And I need to be making way more money than that to be able to justify making that purchase again. So, fuck. Whatever. Hey, I got my money back, I guess. So going back to the subject, now this is one that is going to really, 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 really make you roll in your grave and just like wins and just unsubscribe to my channel, regardless of the fact that I don't have subscribers on this channel. No, not on this channel. Anyways, I know you're still gonna find a way to subscribe to this channel, just so that you can unsubscribe, because you're just gonna be so fucking hear me out. Dalsim and Akuma.
What the hell is even that? Get everybody out of my...
Yeah, hear me out. It works, man. It works. First of all, Dalsim, he's a fan favorite. He's he's goated. I know that. I know that. Oh, I know that. I appreciate that. But what have they done with him important? He's just kind of like a filler character. No offense, but he's always just kind of there. Even though he's such a cool character, such a cool concept, he's so powerful. Think about it. He's really powerful. You could exploit him so much in so many ways. I know not somebody is gonna agree with me. Not really, but I know I know I can fantasize about somebody agreeing with me. I can do that. Listen now. Listen out. It's very similar to the argument with Elena and Akuma, but this is the Dalsim and Akuma. You could have a storyline. Dalsim personifies everything opposite. He can be the yin of Akuma's yang, or is it the other way around? I don't remember right now. But you know what I mean. Dalsim is about flexibility and wisdom and tranquility. He's the yoga master. He's about equilibrium. Did I say that right? He's about peace and softness. He uses technique over strength. He uses fluidity over brute force. He is a pacifist, but he is a master of fire. Now, this fire is a fire of passion, right? It's the fire of will. It is the burning fire of exaltation, of illumination. It's fire of the soul. Almost stated that he is the reincarnation of a god, pretty much. And Akuma is totally the opposite. Akuma is violence, aggressive. He is corruption of like greed. Akuma's greed and wrath. He's about brute force and like destruction. And he is also the fire. He's also fire, but the fire of anger. He is the opposite side of fire, the side of destruction, the fire that consumes and harms. They could work so well together. Hear me out, dude. Book 'em. They need a storyline. Dalsim needs a solid, like really cool storyline where he shines and he actually plays something really important against major characters, and he's not just kind of like a filler, almost goofball sort of. Not really. He's never a comic relief, but he's always just kind of there. And he's trust me, dude. Trust me, he deserves more than that. He deserves a spotlight against a major goated tier character. Imagine that scene where Dalsim stops the stump of the elephant with just one finger, but with Akuma's fist. Akuma can find an opponent that counters his Satsui no Hado with fluidity, right? With totally the opposite of that. With his flexibility and fluidity, he can counter Satsui no Hado. And then Akuma would need to find a way to overcome that. And Dalsim can do the same. You could have a very interesting dynamic there and elevate Dalsim, a character that has a lot of fans and a character that, it's a classic. It has like so much narrative potential since the beginning. I mean, I know the very few people that stayed throughout this whole thing were probably laughing and just like wincing and cringing at the idea, right? But you're thinking too square, man. You need to think outside the box, dude. That Dalsim is goated. Has a lot of narrative potential. Aside of being a really cool character, he has so much potential. He's so powerful. You could do so much with the homie Dalsim. A lot of people just like follow a trend, and whenever something is presented to them in a certain way, they just assume it, and they never think about it beyond that, outside of that. And when it is presented like that to them, it gets to be viewed as ridiculous a lot of times because they don't really think about it too much. But when you do, you realize that Dalsim is goated. Dalsim, it's a perfect matchup for Akuma. Dalsim is the perfect counter to Akuma. Dalsim, dude, Dalsim. Bye.